What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video here on the Museum Reviews channel. Today, we will be continuing our series on the Norton Simon Museum in Pasadena, California, by looking at the top 15 17th century paintings from the collection. As always, if you enjoy this episode, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get on to the video. Honorable mention, Queen Mariana of Austria, was painted by Spanish painter Diego Velázquez between 1652 and 1653. This portrait was recently loaned by the Prado Museum to the Norton Simon Museum as part of a featured exhibit. The portrait is considered to be Velázquez's most accomplished piece, depicting the young monarch in full, magnificent splendor. Queen Mariana adorns a beribboned wig and a colossal feathered headpiece while holding a somber expression. Number 15. The Holy Women at the Sepulchre was painted by Flemish painter Peter Paul Rubens between 1612 and 1614. The painting depicts the biblical scene from Luke chapter 24 verse 4. On the third day after the crucifixion, 3 women, including Mary and Mary Magdalene, visit Christ's tomb and are greeted by 2 angels, surrounded by a blazing light of celestial radiance. The angels deliver the astonishing news of Christ's resurrection, leaving the women astonished. Number 14. The Sense of Touch was painted by Spanish painter Giuseppe de Ribera between 1615 and 1616. The painting depicts a blind man, seated at a wooden table, using his hands to thoughtfully perceive a carved head, while a painting rests beside him unnoticed. This piece has been viewed by many as a representation of the debate over the merits of sculpture versus painting. Number 13. Portrait of a Chorister was painted by Italian painter Marcantonio Bossetti in 1620. The portrait depicts a chorister, dressed in a white surplice, holding a part book of sheet music and looking towards the viewer. The informality of the portrait suggests that the chorister may have been a friend of the artist. Although the readable music is accurate for the time period, the exact song is unidentifiable. Number 12. The Hunt of the Caledonian Boar was painted by Peter Paul Rubens between 1618 and 1619. Many believe that Rubens' composition in this painting is derived from Ovid's narrative in the Metamorphoses. In the story, the goddess Diana takes insult over the king's failure to pay tribute to her. In response, she seeks vengeance by releasing a ferocious boar to ravage the land. The king's son and the strongest warriors are left to fight off the boar and protect the land. Number 11. St. John embracing the infant Christ was painted by Italian painter Giovanni Battista Golli between 1670 and 1675. This piece, depicting John and baby Jesus, is an example of Boccaccio's style of easel painting, which included dynamic folds of drapery, which enveloped the figures. The highly saturated and warm colors of the figures contrast the clearly evident dark background. Number 10. Cleopatra was painted by Italian painter Guercino in 1621. During his time in Rome, Guercino produced this painting depicting the tragic story of Cleopatra's death. Guercino focuses on the single tense moment as Cleopatra grabs the snake from her basket, which would eventually be used by her to deliver a fatal bite. The unusual color harmonies and dynamic nature of the painting give this work a passionate appeal. Number 9. Still Life with Lemons, Oranges and a Rose was painted by Spanish painter Francisco de Zurbaran in 1633. This extraordinary painting is the only signed and dated still life by this great master, and has been widely admired as a masterpiece of the genre. The measured placement of the three motifs have been historically understood as an allusion to the Trinity, as Zurbaran often depicted religious symbols in his work. Number 8. Menuso Theotokopoulos was painted by Greek painter El Greco in 1603. The portrait depicts El Greco's brother, Menuso, who was a mariner by profession. El Greco was known for his extremely unique style, which is portrayed here as his brother's features take on an otherworldly character thanks to the robust brushwork and erratic light effects which are employed. Number 7. The Denial of Peter was painted by Dutch painter Karel Duydaerden in 1667. The large-scale painting depicts the biblical scene as described in Matthew chapter 26 verses 71 to 72, where Peter, following Christ's arrest, waits outside the house of the high priest Caiaphas. As Christ predicted before, Peter, identified as Jesus' companion, denies him 3 times. This is shown by the placement of his hand over his heart and his defensive posture in the painting. Number 6. St. Francis in Prayer was painted by Francisco Zurbaran between 1638 and 1639. This painting is just one of many depictions of St. Francis that the artist painted during the later years of his career. St. Francis, a mystic and a poet, is shown as being devoted to meditating on the crucified Christ with a distant landscape in the background. The tight focus on the figure was a common aesthetic which defined Counter-Reformation art in the 17th century. Number 5. Still life with fruit and vegetables was painted by Flemish painter Frans Snyder between 1625 and 1635. In this large-scale composition, Snyder's depicts an abundance of fruits and vegetables on the table, in bowls and baskets, and even on the ground. After closer inspection, it became apparent that the produce is arranged in a hierarchy reflecting value and rarity. For example, root vegetables are arranged on the ground, while asparagus is placed in the basket on the right. Number 4. David with the Head of Goliath was painted by an unknown Italian painter in 1610. The painting depicts a youthful David standing over the remains of the defeated Philistine Goliath. The giant's forehead bears the wound inflicted by the stone from David's slingshot. David gazes upwards to the heavens, remembering the source of his strength and victory, which has allowed good to triumph over evil once again. Number 3. St. Ignatius of Loyola was painted by Peter Paul Rubens in 1616. The large-scale portrait depicts the founder of the Jesuits, St. Ignatius, who wears a brocaded chasuble and gazes ecstatically to the viewer's right, where beams of heavenly light break through the clouds. In his left hand, he holds a copy of the Constitution of the Society of Jesus, which has their famous motto written at the top, "To the greater glory of God." Number 2. St. Cecilia was painted by Italian painter Guido Reni in 1606. According to legend, on the day of her forced marriage to a pagan, Cecilia used the cadence of her wedding music to sing to God in her heart. In this painting, she holds a violin in an unusual position. She balances it on a table while cradling it against her shoulder. Yet the placement of her fingers suggests she is a skilled violinist. Her eyes, turned upward, guide her music towards the heavens. Number 1. David slaying Goliath, was painted by Peter Paul Rubens between 1615 and 1617. In this piece, Rubens chose to depict the moment when David, having felled the giant and taken possession of his sword, is about to sever the head of his adversary. The background landscape extends into the vast distance, where a fragment of the entire battle can be seen as well. Rubens also used brilliant strokes of blue and grey to create a vibrant sky looming over the entire scene. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below your favorite part of the episode. Make sure to also turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future episodes here on the Museum Reviews channel. Stay tuned for more videos coming your way in the near future. See you in the next one.